Welcome back. So more than 17 million people have applied for the 370 Social Relief of Distress grant, and that was in September alone. It marked a significant rise compared to the 13.8 million applicants recorded in September of 2021. To give us more insights around the surge, let's bring in Paseka Letsatsi. He, of course, is a spokesperson for the South African Social Security Agency, otherwise known as SASSA. Mr. Letsatsi, it's great to have you with us. Thanks very much, as always, for making time for this. I suppose what's worth noting is that these are applications that you've received, and I wonder how many of those are likely to be approved. But as a start, the number is quite staggering.
It is. Good morning, Ayanda. Thanks for having me. The number is obviously just skyrocketed, but I think I must just put certain things into perspective quickly. Normally, we have about 13 to 14 million applicants of the SRD 370, and those who get approved would move between 10.5 and 11 billion. But now in September, it has gone to 17 million applications. And I think I just need to emphasize in agreeing with you, the clarity you just gave now, that this 17 million is only applications. They still have to go through a verification process. And once we have done the verification process, we'll then be able to indicate how many applicants were successful.
And how long typically does that take?
It's a quick process because we do it on a monthly basis to make sure that we verify if indeed people qualify. But one thing that I want to mention without going into details is the fact that we have witnessed in the past 3 to 4 months that there are people who try to defraud the system or they defraud individuals. But obviously the way the system is so advanced, I can assure you and Ayanda that will definitely be able to catch them. But secondly, I can also make an appointment with you in the next 2 weeks, and I think I will give you an update in terms of how many people we have qualified. Remember, some of them, in fact, majority of them are still in the system. The only reason sometimes why they don't qualify is because their status might have changed in that particular month.
Yeah. And have you received any kind of feedback from people who are applying but feel that whatever outcome they've received isn't correct, for lack of a better term? I mean, anecdotally, we meet people now and again who say, you know, I feel like I qualify for the Social Relief of Distress grant, and my status has been pending literally for months. How do you deal with those kind of queries?
We do deal with them, and we want to appeal that when people encounter such, they must call us on our toll-free number so that they can find out what is happening. But when you make an application and you are declined, we are able to give you reasons why. In some instances, we want you to verify your ID number. 1 digit, Ayanda, can kick you out. There's a problem with a cell number, which if we check, it might have some serious problems. But basically, we just want people to verify certain information. All what they simply do is to go into the system and update their details. But I also want to emphasize, Ayanda, that there are processes, or we know that people may feel aggrieved, but there are processes, very strict regulations set up for us from the Department of Social Development, which we need to comply with. If we don't do that, I would have to come here again and explain to the public why, when we were given an instruction or regulations by the department and we violated them. We just want to appeal with our people that please understand and comply. But in case you feel that you are not satisfied, you can call us on our toll-free number, which is 0800 601011.
All right, I'll try repeat that number for our viewers towards the tail end of our interview. Speaking about some of those stringent measures, I mean, again, in instances where we do our own research in the lead up to having this kind of conversation, Paseka, some individuals have come forward to say, I have had in the past 3 months some kind of aid from family, you know, a 500 there, a 700 there. And SASSA has seen this as income, even though it's not consistent, and in fact, it's not guaranteed. They've used that to disqualify me for the Social Relief of Distress grant. I mean, how does the system interpret something like that?
And unfortunately, from where we are, I can't tell if you have 700 rand in your account. It's the money which was given by your uncle or by your cousin to go and buy some material to renovate the house, or is the money given to you to go and buy your own things? It's unfortunate that the system cannot pick up. All that we simply see is that in your account there is money, and what you can't have more than 624 in your account. And unfortunately, it says any source of income whatsoever, you would be disqualified. But secondly, when people put their information in the system, we just want to appeal to them that they must concentrate and don't rush, don't panic. Put your ID number correctly, because if one digit is wrong, it means it's another person altogether. Also try to make sure that the phone number that you put there is a correct phone number, so that we're able to verify some of the information. But I can tell you, Ayanda, we've been doing this thing since COVID. I know and I accept that when we started the processes, it was a little bit difficult. But now that we've been doing this thing over a period of 5 years, I think the system is stable. The system is able to pick up all these particular issues and so forth. We're even able to pick up, if you sit somewhere in UIF, if you are, we are able to interact as well with the Department of Home Affairs to verify if indeed you are the correct person who's applying.
I just want to go back to that point I had raised earlier on about money sitting in your account. I mean, you and I, I'm sure, will agree, Paseka, that having even as much as 700 rand sitting in your account doesn't necessarily mean you've got a easy, steady flow of income. In fact, you may very well still need this 370 rand a month. Is that kind of regulation fair, for lack of a better term? Because I can imagine a lot of people are disqualified because they happen to have that amount of money sitting in their accounts, even if, frankly, if you do an assessment of their life, this money could go a long way.
No, true. I agree with you, but I think I explained that unfortunately, when I see the money in your account, I can't tell what is the purpose of the money. But secondly, the regulations, I do not sit with the South African Social Security Agency. They sit with the Department of Social Development. And people, if they want to engage and they want to engage, they can go to the Department of Social Development, which is basically an open department that engages the society, the NGOs, to make sure that they lobby for the change in the regulations. Our mandate is to administer the distribution of social grant. So if the regulations have been signed and they are law, we have to make sure that we stick and abide by them. The second one, it's the PES. I'm sure we all know that the PES belongs to the National Treasury, and that money gets given to social development, which then pass it through to us. So unfortunately or fortunately, the only information I can give or the weapon which I can give to people is that the Department of Social Development, their doors are wide open. If people want to engage, they can engage the Department of Social Development if they want any policy changes.
All right, in other words, I mustn't shoot the messenger. Okay, loud and clear. Got you on that. Let's speak about capacity that SASSA has, though, to respond to this. I mean, if our unemployment figures and the growth of our economy is anything to go by, I still anticipate millions of people will need and will qualify for this level of relief. Is SASSA able to respond to that need, at least as things stand so far?
From where we are, from our side, rest assured, if people apply, if people qualify, they will definitely get their 370. We can stand firm on that one. We would not experience problems. Our systems are ready. We do projections, Ayanda, in terms of people who apply and so forth. We've got access to the information. That is why I can tell you now that you can call me after 3 weeks. That 17 million may go down drastically, because we have experienced that fraud from time to time, people who are trying to bypass the system.
All right, Paseka Letsatsi, as always, we appreciate your time. Thank you very much indeed for speaking to us. Paseka Letsatsi is a spokesperson for SASSA. 17 million applications in September, but as pointed out, I suppose only a fraction of that will ultimately result in successful applications, which Paseka says he'll have that figure for us in about 3 weeks or so. Nonetheless, thank you very much indeed for speaking to us.